When Americans think of the golden age of the road trip, they often picture neon signs glowing at dusk, long cars pulling into freshly paved parking lots, and a family stepping out into the cool night air to check into a roadside motel. These motels weren't just places to rest. They were symbols of freedom, prosperity, and a new kind of leisure that defined mid-20th century America. From the late 1920s through the 1970s, chains of highway motels spread across the country, revolutionizing how families traveled and how the hospitality industry worked. They created a culture of leisure, affordability, and convenience. But by the 1980s and 90s, many of these once dominant chains collapsed under the weight of overexpansion, competition, and changing travel habits. Their story is one of vision, innovation, and ultimately, downfall. Let's take a journey back to when the highway motel was king. From tourist camps to motel chains, in the 1920s, as car ownership exploded, adventurous motorists hit the open road. But lodging was scarce. Travelers often pitched tents in tourist camps on the outskirts of towns, or rented a room in someone's farmhouse. These were rustic, sometimes uncomfortable, and far from consistent. Entrepreneurs saw an opportunity. Small motor courts appeared, a collection of cabins with attached carports. By the 1930s, these evolved into motels, a word blending motor and hotel. The concept was simple but brilliant. Affordable rooms, easy car access, and no need to navigate big city hotels. World War II slowed growth. But after the war, as soldiers returned, families grew, and highways stretched across the land, the motel industry exploded. The rise of the chains. The 1950s and 60s were the golden age of motel chains. What made them different from mom-and-pop motels was consistency. Travelers knew that if they stopped at a particular chain, they'd get the same clean sheets, the same reliable service, and the same predictable price, no matter what state they were in. Holiday Inn, the king of the road. Founded in 1952 by Kemmons Wilson in Memphis, Tennessee, Holiday Inn became the gold standard. Wilson was frustrated by the poor quality and inconsistency of motels during a family trip. His solution? A chain that guaranteed modern amenities, swimming pools, restaurants, air conditioning, free ice machines, and later, televisions in every room. The iconic green sign, with its flashing starburst arrow, became a beacon for millions of travelers. By the 1960s, Holiday Inn was opening a new motel every 2.5 days. It wasn't just a motel, it was a revolution in leisure. Families planned vacations around where the Holiday Inns were located. Howard Johnson's, the Orange Roof Empire. While technically beginning as an ice cream and restaurant chain, Howard Johnson's expanded into motor lodges along America's highways. The orange-roofed buildings promised familiarity and a touch of upscale comfort. Parents knew they could count on fried clams, hot dogs, and 28 flavors of ice cream in the restaurant next door. For many, Hojo's was both a pit stop and a destination. Best Western, the cooperative model. Best Western, founded in 1946, wasn't a traditional corporate chain. Instead, It operated as a membership association of independently owned motels that shared a brand name and advertising. It offered owners the power of collective marketing while still keeping their independence. For travelers, it meant affordability and broad coverage across highways. Motel 6, the budget innovator. In 1962, Motel 6 changed the game with a simple promise: clean, comfortable rooms for just $6 a night. Its minimalist model appealed to budget-minded travelers, especially those driving long distances. The "Light Left On For You" slogan became an American cultural touchstone. Leisure as a way of life. These motels did more than offer beds. They redefined leisure. They gave middle-class families the ability to take vacations without breaking the bank. Swimming pools became standard, turning a simple overnight stop into a miniature resort for restless kids. Restaurants attached to the chains offered convenience and reliability. Motels also became symbols of status. Staying in a chain motel was different from roughing it in a roadside cabin. It suggested modernity, progress, and participation in America's booming post-war consumer culture. The architecture of these motels reflected optimism. Bold neon signs, playful modernist designs, and sprawling layouts with ample parking invited motorists to stop. A night at a chain motel wasn't just a pause in the journey. It was part of the vacation itself. The interstate highway effect. In 1956, President Dwight Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act, unleashing the interstate highway system. This 41,000-mile network transformed American travel. Suddenly, families could drive farther, faster, and safer. For motels, this was both a blessing and a curse. Chains that secured prime real estate at interstate exits thrived. Holiday Inn in particular expanded aggressively along these routes, often buying land near new highways before construction even finished. But mom-and-pop motels on the old highways were left to wither. Entire towns that had once thrived on Route 66 traffic fell silent as motorists bypassed them on interstates. The motel business became a game of location, scale, and branding. Cracks in the dream. By the late 1970s, the seeds of decline were visible. Overbuilding created fierce competition. Thousands of motels sprang up near the same exits, saturating markets. Chain loyalty began to weaken as newer players emerged. Changing tastes also played a role. Families wanted more upscale resorts, or conversely, cheaper budget stays. Gas shortages during the 1970s oil crisis discouraged long road trips, hitting motels hard. At the same time, many chains struggled to maintain quality across hundreds of locations. Holiday Inn, once the king, faced complaints of aging properties and uneven service. Howard Johnson's, stretched too thin, began closing locations. The fall of the giants. By the 1980s and 90s, the downfall was clear. Howard Johnson's. From more than 1,000 locations at its peak, it dwindled to just a handful of motor lodges. Mismanagement, competition, and changing tastes ended its reign. Holiday Inn. Still alive today, but it lost its dominance in the 1980s. Competition from newer chains like Marriott Courtyard and Hampton Inn eroded its middle-market stronghold. Motel 6 survived by sticking to its budget roots, but sold to new ownership, and faced challenges with aging properties. Best Western endured by reinventing itself, though it never carried the glamour of its heyday. The very innovations that once made these chains kings, uniformity, affordability, and visibility, were no longer unique. Travelers wanted either luxury resorts or ultra-cheap, no-frills rooms. The middle ground collapsed. The ghosts along the highways today, driving America's highways, you can still see the ghosts of this golden age. Faded neon signs, empty swimming pools filled with leaves, and cracked parking lots mark where bustling motels once stood. Some have been converted into apartments, others into budget independents, and many simply abandoned. For baby boomers, these ruins stir nostalgia. They remember piling into the family station wagon, spotting the green Holiday Inn sign, or begging their parents for ice cream at Howard Johnson's. For younger generations, these motels are curiosities, a reminder of a time when travel was slower, simpler, and more personal. The highway motel chains shaped the American idea of leisure. They democratized vacationing, allowing average families to explore the country. They built communities at highway exits, created jobs, and redefined architecture. They also foreshadowed the modern hospitality industry, from budget chains like Red Roof Inn to upscale brands like Hilton Garden Inn. Their downfall is equally instructive. It shows how quickly consumer tastes change, how overexpansion can kill even the strongest brand, and how industries built on novelty must constantly reinvent themselves. The highway motel chains were more than businesses. They were cultural institutions. They gave us the comfort of a guaranteed bed, the thrill of a pool after a long drive, and the joy of neon signs lighting up the night sky. Their decline reminds us that leisure is never static. As America's highways changed, so did the places that lined them. Yet for those who remember, the sight of an old Holiday Inn sign or the ghostly orange roof of a Howard Johnson's will forever spark memories of a time when the road itself was the destination.